Welcome, friends, to the Mystic Syndicate podcast. Thank you for taking the time to listen and hopefully enjoy our content. If you are new or a returning listener, then we are glad you are here and ask that you hit the like button and leave a comment if you feel so inclined. We appreciate your feedback. You can find our videos and past recordings over at our YouTube channel and iTunes podcast page. I will leave the links in the show notes. Again, thank you, and let's get on with our next episode. Okay, so we are live. Once again, we are here at the Mystic Syndicate. I am your Dungeon Master, Brian, and we're with our friends, the Drunkards and Dragons gaming group, and we are on episode 32 of A Princess of Celene, a homebrew campaign. And like I said, episode 32. So we've been doing this for a little bit. I'll do a real quick recap, but before we get started, I want to make sure that folks, if you get to see some of the maps that we use on the stream, we get those from annabmeyer.com. She is a fantasy cartographer, strictly dealing with Greyhawk, and that is the world that we use here with the Princess of Celene custom content. So that's just to let you guys know, we are using Roll20 as our virtual tabletop, and we are using D&D Beyond as our character generation tool, as well as our encounter generator. Ed, do you have anything you'd like to say concerning Watsy?
Oh, fuck Kyle Brent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Kyle Brent's an absolute tool, and I suspect he's probably one of those dudes that has a Prince Albert or something, so his boyfriend can flick it with his tongue. I'm not quite sure yet, but he's an asshole that I can't stand.
Okay, you heard it here. Probably not first, but
there's no way that's first.
Yeah. So yeah. So right now.
Hey, happy Pride Month.
Oh, yes. Exactly. So we're right now waiting for Grenna to pop in, and as soon as she does, we'll try to get the show on the road. But before we I'm sorry.
I just heard from her. It's going to be at least an hour. It's going to be at least an hour.
Okay.
Everything okay?
It's going to be an hour. Okay. Well, that's fine. I mean, it happens. So folks who are watching the stream, I know the cameras are kind of screwed up right now. We'll be squared away here within an hour, hopefully. For those folks who are listening later on the podcast, you don't have to worry about anything because you can't see anything anyway. So, hey, but for those people who are watching the stream, yes, we have a podcast. You can reach us at tmsyndicate@podbean.com. You can also check us out on iTunes. You just go to the iTunes podcast. I think there's like an actual area for it, and just type in the Mystic Syndicate and you will find us there. So make sure to leave us a comment. I'm actually kind of kicking around the idea of, like, if you are the first person to leave an iTunes comment, you will get a Mystic Syndicate t-shirt. But I can do that because I actually have a merch store, but no one ever buys anything from it. So yeah, I mean, somebody might get a t-shirt. So
that's like my book. Nobody ever buys it.
Nobody ever buys it. Yeah, that's right. Russ wrote a book, folks. And yeah, so do something.
Holy shit. There's an episode called The Rise and Fall of Toby Wildseed. Woo! Definitely check out the podcast, folks.
Was it the fall and rise of Toby Wildseed?
Well, kind of. I get it differently.
The fall and rise. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So make sure to check out the podcast. I'm also, and I was going to talk with you guys about this and see maybe later down the road if we have some people who are, who jump in and are really enjoying the podcast or the show, that they may actually get to come on for an episode as an NPC to or a BBEG, whichever. We'll see how you guys. We'll see if that works out really well. That'd be kind of fun if you guys have like family members who just can't wait to cross swords with you. Make sure to have them reach out. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get introductions out of the way. It looks like we're going to start with Mike in the corner.
I'm Mike. I'm playing Kiffi Blackhammer, Dwarven Cleric of Fortubo.
Hello, I'm Pav. I play Kelex, a Paladin of Heironious, and Lord Protector of Bissell.
A hard act to follow. I'm Russ. I'm playing Járngrímur töframaður Halldórsson, a fire mage who is beginning to question his life choices.
Beginning.
Title.
Hi, I'm Ed. I play Sir Tomas Waverly, fighter and bard from the yeomanry.
Well, I am Glenn, and I play Timble, Snivenblaven, High Chancellor of Bissell, artist.
Okay, awesome. And we will be joined here probably in about an hour by Melinda, who plays Grenna Babbleboots, a gnome ranger, who is right now the captain of the guard for the city of Pellic. So, but right now, all of our adventurers are in Greyhawk, the actual city of Greyhawk. They had teleported in to the Crystal Citadel there, which is a mage enclave. They were able to I wouldn't say loot Antero's former office, but yeah, I guess it could be loot. There was no violence involved. It was just, for those people who do not know, Antero was the High Wizard of Bissell who was killed in the dragon attack on Pellic back on, I believe it was episode 29. So, it was episode 29, episode 30. So make sure to go back and check that out if you would like. They eventually went to go get turkey sandwiches, which there is a turkey sandwich bistro right outside the gates of the Crystal Citadel. Some of the best turkey sandwiches in Greyhawk, actually probably the only turkey sandwiches in Greyhawk. There they met Anton and Clarence Reveau. Now the Reveau brothers have a shop which offers gear and guides for adventurers. They have been around for a very, very long time. Even though they are gnomes, Anton has actually been able to perfect the ability to clone. And so they have went through probably several clones over the last couple of probably about 700 or 800 years. So, and they've amassed a fortune in items, adventuring gear, and they have written probably close to 150 different books and thousands of guides and drawn hundreds and hundreds of maps. So our adventurers met them in line there at the turkey sandwich shop, went back to the Reveau brothers establishment, and were able to get some information concerning the dragon Aravistarax. So now the party has a general idea where the dragon is. They eventually moved or went and visited the Grand Temple of Heironious there in Greyhawk as well, and talked to the Hierophant, who is kind of like the Pope. And after giving him the information and beseeching him for help with in helping the beleaguered citizens of Pellic, they were able to to get lodgings for the night there in the monastery behind the cathedral. And so that is where we left off last time. Guys, did I miss anything?
Nope.
Oh, good.
Yes. Alf.
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh,
Alf.
yes. Okay, yes. In the looting spree of Antero's office, Alf, Antero's pseudo dragon, was saved by Yarn, who was able to give him a turkey sandwich, which revived him somewhat. And so now Alf has become Yarn's newest acquisition, kind of like a familiar, more of a companion, being that you already had a familiar. I believe you had a raven or a crow.
But he's one of the like the spirit familiar type things.
Right. Okay. That's cool. So yeah. So that is where we left off. And so I guess you guys have some discussions you wanted to do on what your next step is. Of course, there is always, of course, going after the dragon, or do you go to Celene, or what do you do next?
Oh, therein lies the rub. What shall we do? I know there's quite a few of you that say, run off and chase this dragon. But we do have a commitment to go to Celene.
Yeah.
However,
Time is the real question here. How are we going to get to the dragon quickly?
I'm
have
planning
to
to find the.
okay. Here's the. I still have
camera's
that
off,
teleport scroll. We got that.
I'm eating.
We have the potential to get to Celene quickly, but the dragon's den. I mean, if it takes us a week to get there and a week to get back, it's kind of moot.
We do have the Crystal Citadel. Yeah. Maybe one of those good folks could help us get there.
And yet,
okay, guys,
we're so wealthy.
Right, time out. What is causing us to have the time crunch? What's the root cause? The army of Ket, right? That's the root cause.
Sure.
So, if we go and we talk, if we convert the dragon, we no longer have to worry about the army of Ket, because as Brian mentioned earlier, hold on, let me finish. As Brian mentioned earlier, the dragon was a big part of their morale. So. We take care of the dragon. The pressure crunch is no longer there.
Let me say that one, the army of Ket was kicking our ass before the dragon came. Two, how are they going to know if we kill it? There isn't like a worldwide announcement that the dragon is dead. All hail, the dragon is dead.
Did I say anything about killing the dragon?
I'm going to write it.
Say anything about killing the dragon?
That's fine.
And if I remember right, Ket didn't invade until they had the dragon.
You're under the assumption that the dragon is going to help us. I think that's a big leap. I think the dragon's more interested in foiling or finding a way to foil what is causing her to side with them. And once
we're under the assumption they have at least
quest.
one or two of their eggs, of her eggs, from the scrying.
Right. So she's going to go grab the eggs and probably flee, and would be my thought. I don't think
that's okay. That's a win for us. If we remove,
Ket has the forces to beat us bloody. We have lost so much thanks to the actions of the dragon. If the dragon is removed out of the picture, they still have the forces. They're generals. I mean, a lieutenant is now the castle's lead, and a a major? And suddenly, Kelex is boom, the highest ranking officer alive. That's a tough one to just assume that they're going to roll over for us, or even slow. We have been gutted. I think getting
You're right.
troops
I see where you're getting at, Timble.
That's my
And time is of the necessity, right? And you're right. If we didn't have, I look at it this way: if we can't find a means to get to Celene quickly after dealing with the dragon, then maybe that's not the best choice. I don't think we know all our options yet.
I think that is what. Well, one, we're waiting on to see what the Hierophant might be able to do to help us.
Yep.
Two, I mean, we're going to take that for all we can get. Okay, we need the help. I think we need to find out the time. Kind of a time frame to get to the dragon, to get back into play. Because if we go and attack, well, if we go and handle the Celene problem and we get troops there, then the sucker punch of the dragon might be better played.
Hey, Timble, you remember you and I had a quick conversation about spies at one point.
I haven't heard anything yet.
Gotcha. Do you
Is
have
that
a
correct,
time
Brian?
frame?
That is correct.
Okay.
Because we're sitting right now, I think we're 20 days out, correct, Brian?
19?
19.
I thought we were 19 now.
Yeah, we're at
morning
19
19.
now.
Right, morning 19. Okay.
Yeah.
Any ETA?
I have no information as of yet. The information will come when it comes.
Man,
I mean, it's a big thing to ask a question and have people look for it. It's not going to happen the same day or two. It will take a little bit of time.
Yeah, in a technologically devoid world, it makes it kind of difficult when people are still relying on horses
or birds
for Lord's sakes. Yeah. So
let's determine our options. We can, of course, ask the Hierophant what he can do for us, and then maybe Yarn can go and talk to the folks in the Crystal Palace to see because if the Hierophant can't do anything for us, then we try the Crystal Palace. Then we make a decision.
I'd be willing to try both. We haven't heard anything from the Hierophant. Let's go to the Crystal Palace and chat it up.
No, I agree. Just do both. I mean, but we just need to know what our options are.
Kiffi, do you have any idea? What are your thoughts?
My thought is that we should probably go to Celene first, but see what other options are on the table. But I know we got one guaranteed teleport. We should probably use it wisely unless we get another option.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. I really wish she would have released me before she put me in a position. Let me go then. Then I wouldn't care.
Like that position.
Then I wouldn't care what was happening in Bissell.
You didn't have to say yes.
Yeah, I did.
who here knows Albie well enough to know he had to say yes?
I'm sort of raised for the position.
So we want to talk to the Hierophant first.
We've spoken with him. I think we need to grease some other wheels.
Well, we don't know what he can do for us. He did a scrying for us, but since we're in the temple...
Well, he said he was going to talk to some of his bishops.
Yeah.
And find out what, we can do with some of the nasty artifacts we kind of have access to. B, but what can they offer up to assist, was my understanding. I'm certainly going to ask...
They're going to look to see what help they can provide to Bissell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more interested in how quickly do they have the means of transporting us quickly long distances?
Well, maybe we put that on the table and talk with him when he comes back to us.
Okay.
So we can either go.
The information is needed either way.
Yep.
Okay, so with that in mind, what the Hierophant was able to offer you before was that he was willing to definitely send aid to Pelek and to Bissell in the form of healers and food and things of that nature, supplies. And that was probably about as much as he was able to tell you at that point in time. He could definitely send people. They're not soldiers, but they are definitely people who could help.
Yeah, non-combatant
right.
medical aid is wonderful. That's a big boon.
Right. Now, of course he is also reaching out to his bishops to see if there are knights within their realms that would be willing to crusade for Bissell. That's also another biggie, because pushing against the faith of the Ket, which is a monotheistic religion, pretty much.
And their destruction of one of the temples in one of the major cities.
That is true. Yep. So there is there is motivation. There's definitely motivation. What the Hierophant may or may not do is that those who pick up the sword in defense of Bissell may get some sort of special accommodation or something, but that would be up to him. So you know that at least some sort of aid, but it's not going to be aid that is going to slow the advance. You know that. You do know, though, that if you get to Celene and everything falls into place there, once again, fingers crossed, then if Celene and the Vesvi Forest come onto the side of Bissell, then everything stops. The advancement of Ket and her allies stops. And then it will become a stalemate. After that, though, if you are able to either subdue the dragon, force the dragon from the battlefield, then that helps immensely. That means that a slow push will start pushing those back. Now, if you bring the dragon onto your side, it speeds that decline in the Ket's ability to make war, because now the dragon can actually bring the fight to Ket proper. There's a big difference. I mean, right now, there is nowhere in Ket that has actually been touched by this war other than the loss of its troops. If you have a dragon...
Wait a minute. We were there. We were there.
Yes,
out that tower.
You were there. You did take out the old dwarven keep, Kodal Keep. You did... well, I don't know. Yeah. Wait, no, you freed the Margrave. You didn't really take the place out.
I feel like so long ago.
Yes, it does.
Took that flask of acid.
Things were easier.
Let's drink that flask of acid. That was my favorite. I told my wife that, and she was just looking at me like, is he okay?
Did you tell me it was acid? Did not say it was acid.
I was thinking the description that I gave you, that the glass was being destroyed from within, would have been a good. Okay.
I remember that.
You don't remember that? We'll have to play that back.
Timble had been beaten up pretty badly, so he was desperate.
That's right. He did have some head trauma. So
Timble will deny it. Never happened.
Never happened. Okay, so I'm looking at a map, and where you guys are heading to, depending on if you want to go to the dragon, it would be Perrinland. Perrinland is very, very far away. You're looking at a very, very long trek. There's not really a lot in Perrinland. It's kind
maybe
of...
Perrin's?
Yeah, those Perrin people. So, I mean, you can always ask and see. Of course, getting to Celene from Greyhawk is a lot simpler. Celene is not that far away. And you know that you have actually met the wizard from Celene. That's Master Moore's Ivy. You've actually met him. He was like I don't know if you actually met him, but you know what he looks like. He, of course, like all the other court wizards and mages, travel back and forth to the Crystal Citadel often, because here at the Citadel they have meetings and they talk about magics and who is eligible to join the ranks of those within the Crystal Citadel. So you could always try to seek him out to see if he is here. So there's some options, but it really depends on where you want to go next. So
would he have a secretary perhaps that's permanently here that might have the means to send him a message, or could we meet at X date to join you back in Celene? Is that a possibility?
From what you've been able to see,
left.
Yeah, from what you've seen here, especially at the Crystal Citadel, is that mages and wizards, sorcerers and things, while they might not have secretaries, sometimes they will have apprentices that are here learning either from, so they're either learning from the wizard themselves or other wizards who have taken them kind of under the wing. Let's say if you had a wizard that was specifically very adept at divination, you would definitely send your young apprentice to learn from that person. You don't see a lot of necromancers here. Necromancy is still kind of a people don't really like it. So if you run into a necromancers are rare, and being that you already have one as a friend, that's kind of cool, but you don't see them a lot. You have never met one here in Greyhawk, so hopefully a little bit of information will help you.
We're just looking for the fireball and necromancy kind of wizards, let's hop around and boom boom boom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much.
Right. So listening to my conscience that kind of looks like Brian, maybe Celene would be the best with those options. Going first.
Okay.
But that's, what does the group want to do?
The High Lord
makes you've been kind of quiet.
The High Lord makes the decisions here.
Yeah, but I still like to hear everybody's opinion,
So he can.
I see value in both.
I think Ed's frozen.
Time's the question. How can we mitigate the time involved with actually each of them?
And, if we had the options that I was kind of hoping for, either one would have been fine.
Yeah.
But I was kind of beat the shit out of something, so.
One could argue if we make it to Celene and back, by that time, whatever spies Timble sent out should have some
more information. Oh my God, I might have talked to Ed into something.
I doubt it. I would say go to the dragon.
Well, I stopped that one, didn't I?
Okay.
I don't know. I want to know why Yarn has a camera from the 90s.
I was not going to say anything.
Camera?
Yarn.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I keep waiting for Tommy Lee to step up behind him and whip his junk out.
Yeah,
I'm for Celene right now.
Unfortunately, Yarn looks nothing like Pamela Anderson, which kind of
She's got some years under her belt.
I haven't seen her recently. Okay, so from what I'm gathering, you guys are going to head back over to the Crystal Citadel and try to seek out Moore's Ivy.
Yes,
I think that's the more prudent.
Okay, very, very good. Okay, so like I said, it's a little bit of a trek back over to the Crystal Citadel, being that the Temple District is it's across town, but you were able to make it just as it gets right around 9-10 o'clock in the morning. Yes,
well,
Yarn.
We forgot something.
What did you forget?
We forgot something, guys. We were going to look for an actual dragon in Greyhawk.
There is that. You're right. We were going to look for because there were some dragons that actually, that are here.
Yeah.
If we can get into their presence to talk.
That's the fun part.
Exactly. And the person that would be asking, or the person to ask for information on that, would be the Gnome brothers.
No. I think talking to one of the wizards here, such as Moore's Ivy, and speaking to him about that might be, since they reside in the Citadel. I hope those brothers were not hunting the dragons here. You're right. They should have possibly information on them. Yeah, you're right. We talked to them to see if we can get any information before we try going in and speaking to them, because we may have to manipulate our way to them. I mean, we are coming with the High Lord of Bissell, the Chancellor, and the Captain of the Guard, plus
dragons don't
wizard.
give a shit about.
Yeah, so I mean, as a diplomatic mission, there might be some footing there.
Maybe.
I guess the question as characters, what do we know of dragons in Greyhawk, Brian?
See, that's kind of the thing. Well, interesting that you should ask. I was doing a little bit of research myself on this, and a lot of them, from what you have been told historically, are not usually in their dragon forms. They have taken on forms of elves. Humanoids. Yeah, other humanoids and things of that nature. So finding them might be a little bit more difficult than you would expect. You do know some of the names. There is Estrella Shenfanel or Shenfarel.
You're going to have to spell that.
I will definitely let you know.
Estrella?
Yep. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I will put it in the Greyhawk in the chat here. There you go. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Did it pop up?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That's one of the more noted, but they can be quite elusive. Let me see. So
we don't know of any of these dragons that do live in the city.
Correct. Being that you all are not from here and you may or may not be familiar with them, like I said, a lot of I think most of them are in their humanoid forms, so that would be kind of difficult. But the one that I mentioned, Estrella, is definitely one of the well-noted ones. But again, this is.
Do we know what kind of dragon she is?
Yeah, I was going to say, being that she's well noted, perhaps we might have knowledge of her kind.
Yeah. Why not? Let me see exactly what her deal.
She's brass, right?
I think she is.
Actually, she's a Greyhawk dragon.
Yes.
Okay.
a specific type of, but giving where she, I don't want to be out of character, but a quick search tell me I might actually know that name, Brian, maybe?
Yes.
Because she performs it. Okay.
Yes. Yeah,
right,
she is a noted a bardish sort of creature, definitely. So yeah, it's considered a Greyhawk dragon. Cool.
Would I know that she performs it? That she's popular at the Royal Opera House in her uniform?
That you would not know. You just know some basic information about her. Yeah. So okay. So
I guess the question is, do we want to go talk with the Gnome Brothers, or do we want to talk with maybe possibly some of the wizards inside the Crystal City, or we could do both? You know, we could split the party up.
I could go wrong. Actually, I think this is a Gnome Brothers, and we need to spend like 15 minutes on this and then move if we're got to go to Celene, so we don't just burn a whole night bouncing back and forth.
I agree.
Okay. So you all head back over to the merchant district and you approach the Revo Brothers establishment. As you walk up, you see that there is a sign on the door saying that they will be back after lunch. So they're obviously doing something, but you're not
we go to
sure what.
Stand?
Yep. Go to the turkey sandwich stand.
Okay.
Is the door locked?
Good idea. I'm sure Alf would like a special sandwich.
You can give it a try.
Just give it a rattle.
Okay. So yeah, Richard, it is locked, unfortunately. Not for much longer.
What kind of lock are we looking at here?
It looks like it's just an indoor. It's like inside of the door lock. Looks like a skeleton key would probably open it.
Breaking and entering?
No.
I'm just making sure that it's locked
and secure.
Wait a minute. Aren't you a gnome? You're not a kinder.
Drill sergeant.
What?
Don't want a drill sergeant to come around and find an unsecure door.
Okay.
How well?
Okay, so I guess you break out your tools of the trade.
Okay, so I get a few items. I mean, you need a paintbrush.
Does Kelex see what's going on here?
Make a perception check with advantage because you're standing right there.
Cover me, Tomas.
Cover me.
What the hell are you doing?
He's picking locks.
Okay, one more, Kelex. You got his advantage.
Okay. Oh,
nothing. No. I'm doing nothing.
Yeah. You're actually doing. Yeah.
I'm turned away and I'm starting to head toward the turkey stand.
Yeah. So
I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, you don't even realize that your entourage has left you as the rest of them are crowded around the door. And you're like halfway down the block before you realize that you're talking to people that are not there. But by that time, it's a little too late. And you see that the door is open and your friends are no longer in sight.
No, I didn't say that. Oh. That easy of a lock,
mm-hmm.
That's a danger. Okay.
Okay.
I was just curious. I'm going to relock it.
Okay. Very good. All right. So that all you see is them kind of huddled around and then they kind of break from the door. The door is once again closed and they just start walking over with no hint of
relief on my face
of shenanigans on their face. They look like, no, everything is good. We've done a good thing here. as you give them a look of
I like to
disapproval.
remind you all, we are on a time limit. I do not want to spend it in any prison in Greyhawk City.
Ooh, wouldn't that be fun?
Wouldn't they just kill us?
Teleport.
Would they
Who would
just
ask so many questions?
wouldn't they just kill us? Where do you think? Yeah, it's like, no, there's like a big statue in the town square that has all these thief hands attached to it. And yeah. Lovely.
And I can make prosthetics.
What you don't know is the rest of the thief is in a multi-dimensional pocket.
Oh gosh.
Like my bag of shit.
Yep, like your bag of shit.
Yeah. Okay, so that's good.
The turkey stand.
Okay, so yeah, you head over to the turkey stand, and so there's already a line, but you do not see the Revo brothers there.
Okay, we came for the sandwiches, not the brothers.
Okay.
Oh, while we're here.
So yeah, you guys load up on sandwiches. I don't know, is Alf with you? Because Alf will of course desire a turkey sandwich. One with the.
Can I get bacon on one?
Of course. Why wouldn't you? Like melted cheese, like a turkey melt with like bacon.
I haven't had dinner yet. I'm starving.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
You're okay.
I had shrimp this evening, air fried. It was really, really good. Yeah. So cool. Okay. So I hear things being rolled.
I was asking Alf if he knew what the tapestries were for, but I don't think I was able to persuade him.
No, unfortunately, you weren't. He didn't feel that.
I'll buy a few extra sandwiches.
Try to ply him with sandwiches. I see how it is.
Over the day, yeah.
Oh, like every so often, just like, hey, buddy, want a
Exactly.
Want a sandwich? Okay, that's cool. So you're all standing around outside. I mean, there are benches and things if you want to sit down and enjoy your turkey sandwich. And of course, this is right outside of the Crystal Citadel, so you have pretty and there are of course wizards and their apprentices standing in line waiting for turkey sandwich, and yeah, so you're kind of thinking that most of these wizards and such are probably at lunch or doing or off doing things. And
anyone we recognize?
That's what I was going to say. Brian, does Yarn recognize anyone? 2, do we see the 2 apprentices that were in the office with us?
No, you do not see anyone that you recognize. Just yeah, you don't notice anyone that sort of jogs a memory or anything like that. And so after probably about a good 45 minutes, you see that the line has definitely died down, and you all get the feeling that it looks like everybody's either going back to work or is already at work. So you're heading into the Crystal Citadel, I guess?
Yep.
Okay.
We're going to go ask for Ivy, yeah?
Okay, cool.
We're not going to go back and look for the boys after lunch to talk to them first? The 2 Creole brothers that run that little shop.
We're running out of time.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. So you head into the Crystal Citadel. You get to the more like the customer service kiosk. And there is a young female elf and a human male, young folk, dressed in the robes of apprentices. And the young man says, greetings, gentlemen. Greetings, lady. How can we help you today?
Would you be able to inform us where we might find the High Wizard of Celene, Morris Ivy, his offices.
Oh, of course. Hold on one moment. And he brings out a book and he goes through flipping pages and he says, you are in such luck. Master Morris Ivy is here. He should be leaving a council meeting here in probably about 10 minutes. If you wait right outside that door, you will see him walk out.
Can I get in the door?
Are you a wizard of the council? You certainly don't look like one. No disrespect, sir, but...
No, I'm just the High Chancellor of Bissell I need to speak to.
Oh, well, welcome. Of course, once he's finished with his meeting, I'm sure he would love to talk with you. And he just gives this very nice smile and he says, but yes, if you just wait right there, he will be happy, hopefully, to see you. Are you familiar with Master Morris Ivy?
Yes, we are.
Then there you go. So he closes
a bit
his
out of
book.
character real quick. Do we remember how we felt about Morris Ivy when it came to Melda?
Okay, so
all right.
you were kind of thinking Morris Ivy was cool. He didn't really say a lot, but an interesting person all the way around. Not as talkative or forthright as Antero was. Antero was more of a, he didn't mind, chopping it up a little bit and chilling out with people and talking about things. Morris Ivy was a little bit more reserved, but of course he was also in the presence of the Queen. So you never really got a chance to kind of pull him away from the court. Today, you might actually see a completely different type of Morris Ivy. So cool. Alrighty. So as you're standing around, just kind of waiting for the doors to open, like I said, this is one of those interesting places where things are going on all the time. People trying new magics, people who are new to magic are discovering their powers. There's just so much going on. And so after almost to the point of time that was mentioned by the young man at the kiosk, the doors open slowly and out come a stream of elderly men and women, some clutching very ancient tomes under their arms. And about halfway through, you see Master Morris Ivy walks out. And let me see. I'm just going to see if he catches y'all's eye. If
not, we'll just call to him.
You can.
I put a nimbus.
Master Morris Ivy.
Around.
I do have a question.
Sure.
That I would have asked prior to his leaving.
Russ was talking. What was you saying, Yarn?
Yeah. I put a nimbus around Kelex. Just to digitate.
Okay.
In the time that we were waiting, I would like to talk to all the gentlemen. Do we want to try to address the council? I mean, we could put on quite the show to get them back in there and let them know that one of the, well, I think they already know, but speak to them about Antero being killed and maybe openly request aid for Bissell.
I hate to say it, but at this point, I'd say let Thomas do it. Tomas do it.
Kelex. I'd rather Kelex do it.
I mean,
somebody say Joe.
I prefer Kiffi did it.
Need I remind you that Kiffi's charisma is 8?
That's
Kiffi
doesn't know it, but among his people, he is known as Kiffi the Quiet.
Because if Tomas
good charisma, I just do shitty rolls. Just remember that.
if Tomas goes up there and he has a musical instrument at hand, we're in trouble. So we need to take those off him if we're going to have him do it.
Though, since they've just obviously they're broken out of their council.
Well, I asked 10 minutes that we're waiting for them, so we can have a little bit of a plan of attack. Otherwise, I just might make a scene.
Oh, is this how Timble gets what he wants? Right? You got to flop on the floor and go.
No, this is how the High Chancellor of Bissell gets what he wants.
He's still
so if we are going back in time a little bit, and 10 minutes before they broke up, if you think that we should actually approach the council, I don't see any reason why. Kelex would be okay with that. I mean, the more aid we get, the better Bissell's off. If Brian's okay with that.
Here.
Well, it's gonna get tricky. We gotta get them back in there, but
okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we talk to Moore's Ivy first and see if he can
pull them back in.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be the one are they really going to look at us and do it?
Well, we are world leaders now. So I'm the high diplomat for Bissell. I could, get on a table counter and start making a foolish, just be an idiot and get their attention and say that we would like to address them in the as the representative.
How many members are on the council roughly there, Brian?
How many are roughly on the council?
Yeah.
Usually you're looking at right at 100. Okay. These are like the most powerful and important magic users in the realm.
All right, let's make our plea, as they come out, let's call to Master Moore's Ivy and see if we can ask them, the council, to reconvene.
I'd call to them all. Gentlemen.
Yeah, but if you kind of know someone that we know that might actually
I'm just worrying about a few of them getting away, or that if we dress them as soon as they're coming out, you've got them right in a spot.
100, and they're all yammering. Okay.
Yep. And we're trying to raise our voices and get their attention. I do believe that since someone had talked about things, I know someone can help us get their attention.
Yarn, you made me glow. Give me a loud voice.
No, not sure I can do that, but I'll try.
I think the cantrip. I think it does make it. Can make your voice boom.
Brian,
let me check.
While he's looking at that, do I know a mournful song of Bissell?
Make one up.
You could probably just make. You could probably just create one.
Bissell has been.
No, actually, I want a famous folk song that's like
okay.
Something that they would recognize it's Bissell, because I'll play that while they're coming out.
Give me a history check.
All right.
To see if you can recall said music. And I'm going to say that's not going to work. As you're sitting there searching your mind, or standing there searching your mind, holding your lute tight, you realize that you remember several wonderful songs of your homeland, but unfortunately the ones from Bissell seem to escape you.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm going to start playing fucking
But alas, your young squire is a native of Bissell. And so I'm going to give her a history possibility to see if she is able to recall something, and then maybe she could help you.
Did that pop over there? I tried it. I had her character up, and I don't think it popped up.
Okay. Yeah. All I saw was a history, a 3.
Yeah, my history roll stuck. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going.
Actually, no. Actually,
I have her. I have her character sheet here, so I was just going to go ahead and roll it for her.
Okay. Can I try something real quick though? This was just weird. I just wanted to see what it looked like.
Okay. So.
Okay, so if it comes with Thomas with the broken icon, that's me rolling off of her character sheet. I'll take her 21.
Okay, so Shirley knows many songs of her, from her childhood, being that she still is one. And so you are going to be able to get another history roll, but you get it with advantage. Or no, wait, no, don't do history. Screw the history.
I did it.
She already did it for you, so all I need you to do is do a performance check with advantage.
Got it. God damn it. Thinking it.
Yeah, so she just kind of gives you a sidelong glance and just shakes her head and says, Master Tomas, we need to work on that.
Actually, she's supposed to call me Daddy Warbucks. So.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, God. For those of us who are joining us this evening, we're talking of Sir Tomas's young squire, Shirley Templar, who happens to be very good at her native history. Unfortunately, the musical style. Unfortunately, the musical stylings of her master seem to be sorely lacking this evening. That's okay though. Alrighty, so while that was all going on, what are you guys doing? Kelex, what were you?
Kelex is blowing.
Doesn't predisposition, whatever that spell is, that cantrip, doesn't it make your voice boom as well?
Which spell is it?
Nope.
No? Oh, I thought
prestidigitation.
Oh.
Either that or no. Even better is the light cantrip at full brightness.
All right. So as I'm glowing,
yeah, it's kind of like a spotlight is shining down upon you.
What color is it, Yarn? What color?
I was just going to go with the normal light.
Okay, just want to make sure. You usually give me some kind of weird color. All right, so as the light is shining down on Kelex,
right? Okay,
I'm 6'4", so I'm not a short little guy,
right?
So I raise up my arms and I call attention, esteemed wizards of Greyhawk. I am Kelex Zelenen, High Protector of Bissell, and this is my council, and we have matters of utmost importance to discuss with you.
Okay, so give me a persuasion, intimidation, a persuasion.
Persuasion. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
son of a.
Unfortunately, your presentation kind of falls upon deaf ears as several of them walk past you. But Moore's Ivy, though, is of course immediately drawn to you and walks up to you, Kelex, and he says, greetings, Sir Kelex. I guess you were trying to get the attention of the council. There's probably better ways to do so. That was very unorthodox.
I had to try. But at least we have gotten your attention, Master Moore's Ivy.
He says, how can I help you?
Hold on, I think Timble wants to say something real quick.
Oh.
I was going to try to get in front of those in the hall, heading back to the lifts, and they start saying, gentlemen, and the High Chancellor, lead diplomat of Bissell, please hold but a moment.
Okay, give me a persuasion check.
Not good.
think Kyle Brink is sabotaged.
Can't roll any worse than me.
Kyle Brink. Okay,
See?
well, that's
Look at
not too bad. That's actually bad. You actually had a couple of them stop to chat with you briefly. One of them is a gentleman who actually hails from Greyhawk, and he says, "Oh, greetings. What brings you here, and what business do you have, and why would you accost us so?"
Well, you know of the fight going on in Bissell, do you not?
Of course, yes, we are aware.
Yes, dire tidings. Your fellow wizard Antero has lost his life defending.
Yes,
Bissell.
we had heard about that.
We'd like to address you all and just basically brief you on our current disposition of troops and how dire things are, and perhaps just simply ask for aid. It'll take just a few moments, but we would just like to address you and make sure everyone knows. And those who have a good heart and would like to assist, please.
He says, "Well,
I know you're so busy and tied to
yes.
other things, but we just simply want to take a moment. There's a moment out of the hundreds of years that you wizards could live. Just a moment. Be too much?
I am sure that we could definitely find the time, but we are all on schedules, and many of us are reporting home this afternoon to discuss what the council had talked about on the floor today. So I don't know how many you would be able to muster at this point in time. I am fortunate enough to be here in Greyhawk, so at least you have my ear. But
I am Timble Snivenblaven, and I would like to address you properly, sir. What is your name?
My name is Forrester Mars. I am the house wizard here to the royal family in Greyhawk.
My goodness, what luck!
I suppose.
Can I bring you back to well? I mean, you're listening. That says much.
Give me a turkey sandwich.
Possibly,
Give him a sandwich.
Yeah, give him a sandwich. I do see that we have Mors Ivy pulled aside. Maybe we could speak to you both together. Follow me, please.
Oh, yes. I see that you've cornered Mors Ivy as well. Huh, interesting.
Well, we know him.
Oh,
Slightly.
Well, that's nice. So he, this human gentleman dressed in very, very fine robes and is wearing a peaked hat, carrying a very ornate staff, walks over to the rest of you, and he looks up and says, "Mors Ivy, good to see you again." And Mors Ivy just looks and said, "Oh, Mars, weren't we sitting together? Did you get corralled into this as well? Interesting."
Yes, it's my fault. I'm sorry. I was just trying to get a few of your fellow wizards, brethren.
Yeah, both of them just kind of chuckle and be like, "Okay, so what is it that you propose?"
Well, first,
Mors Ivy says this.
Let me introduce you, and I'll go around and introduce everyone by their title, as such, and then say, Kelex, you are the Lord Protector. I'll give you ground.
Do we wish to discuss this here, or is it okay if we go into your council room and discuss this?
Well, the council room is at this point in time, it is completely off limits to those who are not the wizarding arts. But we can, Morzavi says, we can retire to my office if you would like.
That will do. Thank you.
Okay. So they lead you to the floating discs, which work as elevators here in the Crystal Citadel, and make your way up to the top, to a very beautifully appointed office. Inside, you see a lot of the same type of furniture that you saw in Antero's room, but there's a few more interesting items. You do not see any fairy dragons or pseudo dragons roaming around, but it seems that Morzavi has a very wizened looking owl that sort of holds court here in this office. And so Morzavi and Mars walk in and take a seat. And you see with a flick of the wrist, Morzavi moves several chairs from around the room that congregate in a circular pattern before the couch that Morzavi and Mars are sitting on. And he says, "Please, my friends, take a seat." And so I guess you guys will take a seat, I hope. And so what is it that you need or propose? And you can see that both of these wizards are sitting comfortably, but you can see that they're pitched forward a little bit, like they're very interested in what you have to say.
Gentlemen, thank you for seeing us. I do appreciate your time. And I won't mince words. You know of the current circumstances in Bissell, also along with the dragon. And we are desperate need. We need aid. We have managed to gather, some forces from our neighboring allies. However, I don't think it's going to be sufficient to help us defend Bissell from Ket. And I'm hoping that the council here, or the wizards of all of Greyhawk, with the demise of one of their own, Antero, they would be hopefully willing to help us.
It is. Yeah, Mars says it is very, very unfortunate about Antero, and this dragon that you will eventually have to seek out. Yeah, do you know any information?
I looked at Tomas. And he's not there.
And Tomas is staring out the window.
Tomas is over here eating chicken wings, so kiss his ass.
Oh, ouch. Spicy.
While he's eating chicken wings.
He's spicy.
Rub that little sauce on there, Tomas.
So
problem we're having, the gentleman, the dragon is Aristovax, or whatever the name is. Was that it?
Aravistarax. Yes.
Aravistarax. Okay.
And we have to get them out Aaron in Perrin land.
No. Be quiet, Tomas. You've already rolled terribly enough once tonight.
That was me. I haven't seen you roll yet.
The problem we have has several different prongs. Number one, Ket is overrunning Bissell. To prevent that, we have options. The first one is going after Aravistarax and helping her. We don't want to kill her. We don't want to hurt her. We just want her off the table. And by that, I want her to choose. We think she's being coerced. The only way that a dragon can be coerced is it can't be through treasure. It can't be through threats. The only way you can do it is by threatening her children. And that's what we think is happening. We also have another one. And what's the guy from Bissell's name is? Not Bissell, but Celene.
Morzavi?
The wizards from Celene.
Yeah, Morzavi.
Yeah. Morzavi, we have one that we have another problem, which is close to you. We have Melda.
And with that, as soon as you mention her name, she removes her hood, which she has been keeping quite close so that she does not draw attention. And as soon as she pulls her hood from from the top of her head, you see Moore's Ivy literally like bolt upright in on the couch, and you can see that he is visibly taken aback by what he has seen before him. He is almost speechless.
Kelex is kind of going toward his warhammer just in case.
I was going to say that Timble will stand up and place himself between her and him.
Moore's Ivy just puts his hand and said, there is no need. I would definitely not ever harm this young woman. And he says, do you mind? And he immediately reaches into one of his robe pockets and he brings out a piece of quartz. And you can feel that there is definitely magic coming from this as he brings it up to his eye and he looks at Melda through it. Arcane knowledge for those who are magic users. Just give me a roll. Wow. Dang, Kiffi's killing it tonight.
Luck.
Okay.
Luck.
Talk.
Roll it again. Go.
Okay, so you rolled 3 times? You got luck twice?
I rolled twice. I used one of my luck.
Oh, okay. Because I got 3 rolls for you here, but that's okay. Tomas now. Wow, Tomas, it's not a good roll night for you, huh?
Go back to the wing.
Okay.
I think Kyle Brink is diddling my voodoo doll.
Yeah, he's probably. Yeah, he's tweaking you tonight, huh?
Cup.
Stop it, Kyle. We're on to your shenanigans and hijinks. Okay, so Kiffi and Yarn, you both have seen these before. These are visions of true seeing. You're obviously thinking that he is looking at someone who is. He's thinking that Melda may be some sort of shapeshifter or using some sort of glamour to make her look the way she does. But as he pulls the stone away, his face has not changed. And he immediately goes down to one knee in front of Melda, who is completely in shock at this point. She does not know what is happening. She does not know who these gentlemen are, but the older elven man has immediately placed himself in a position of honor and subservience before her, and she looks to you, Kelex, and she looks absolutely petrified at this point. She doesn't know what to say, and he does not rise. He just keeps his eyes averted, and you hear him say, Your Majesty, I am surprised that you exist. How is it that you came to be in the presence of his lordship, Kelex? This kind of breaks her away from what's happening around her. She again focuses her, but you can now feel that she has grabbed your arm and is kind of like clutching it. And she says, she says, noble sir, I do not know what you speak of. I wish I could. Please, will you please just sit on the couch? I can't. and you see she's trying to stand, but you you have her arm. So you kind of pull her tight a little bit, and she sets back down. And Morzaibi looks up and he says, "If that is your wish, princess." And she just, like I said, again, she is just stunned. And she looks to you, Kelex, and she says, "Do you know what he is talking about?"
Do you remember the locket that I gave you?
Yes.
And I told you I got it from, and I can't remember the archdruid's name.
Shara.
And apparently she's your granddaughter, or you're her granddaughter.
He says, the woman that we met in the tavern in the little village.
Yes.
Yes.
Grand. And so this has been the plan all along, that you have. Am I being sold? I don't understand.
No. I remember we spoke about this, that you were possibly an heir or a child of the Queen of Celene. I do remember. We did talk. We did mention.
Yes, we did talk. But it just seems so fantastic, and I thought that you were just.
Yeah, when we were going to take her, I asked and specifically said we lay everything out in front of her so that she's not surprised and she knows what she's getting into by saying, "Yes, I will go with you to Celene."
She says, "It just doesn't make any sense." And of course, Morzaibi is back on the couch. And he said, "But Your Majesty, it makes complete sense." And again, she's just, you can see that she's puzzled. She says, "So we're to go to Celene. This is the next step, correct?"
That is your choice.
She says, she looks at Morzaibi and says, "Are they nice? Will I be accepted?" And Morzaibi just, he just says,
I look at Morzaibi and,
"I know that your grandmother will be pleased to see you."
Master Morzaibi?
Yes.
When was the last time you used that stone of true seeing on Princess Sentisha?
Oh, it's interesting. I don't think I've ever actually used it on Sentisha at all.
I think you should.
Maybe that is something I shall do as soon as I return. So,
and we kind of go. I looked at this. There are some questions. They're of the validity of you being who you are. Obviously, your grandmother knows who you are. It's the Queen, which we must, convince.
Yeah, Queen Yolanda is going to be the one that is a final arbiter, I guess, perhaps, on which child she would accept as her heir. But I do think, Master Morzaibi, you would need to take a look at her, but do so carefully.
Of course.
Don't. You might see something that you don't like, and certainly lean on Shira.
At the mention of Shira's name, you see a very warm smile cross his face. Make a insight check.
Okay. I was saying yay to Melinda. She got her thing fixed.
Yay! Oh, that's good. Yeah. Okay. So you recognize this warm sort of smile, that there may actually be something more than just courtly duty between Morzaibi and the Queen Mother. You just get this weird feeling that there is something more to it.
And he's been climbing the tree?
I don't know. It's hard to tell.
And I'll say that in Elvish.
He looks at you, and anybody else who speaks Elvish just kind of looks at you, not really quite understanding, but he looks at you, and the smile quickly disappears.
Smiling back.
Yeah.
Open.
So he just kind of once he again is talking with Melda, and she says, "You are going to be quite surprised. Of course, you've met your grandmother. You have a younger brother who is aware of your presence, from what I've been told. You have two sisters.
Are they stepbrothers or are they brother? I mean, they actually siblings.
They're step. Melda's a stepchild of.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Step or half.
Actually, they'd be half. Yeah. No, she'd be a half.
Sorry, half.
She'd be a half. Yeah.
Sorry, half.
She's a half sister of the rest of, because they all have Yolanda as mom. So there you go.
Melda is the first sibling, right?
Actually, she is the oldest. So Melda is, she would definitely be the oldest. Yeah, and see the way that the tree goes, it's Melda, then Sintaisha, then Val, and then Asenath. Asenath, of course, being the youngest. So that's the lineage there. And he said,
I think Morzavi may need to talk to Shira concerning Asenath. She is in danger.
He says, I've detected that for some time.
I've seen the Princess Asenath viewing her from a hidden place, and she did not look too friendly upon her own sister.
No, Sintaisha has bullied Asenath probably from day one. At one point in time, she used to do it to Val, but Val has come into his own. So she gives Val a very wide path, because Val does not have a problem giving it right back, even though he is a very kind young elf. He is not one to take slights. Unfortunately, though, Princess Asenath does not have that time under her belt, so she is usually the target of Sintaisha's animus. So
I would say that has probably grown more recently. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so you feel Melda kind of loosen a little bit against you, Kelex, and she just whispers into your ear. So I'm to go to Celene, and hopefully things will work out with my mother. So everything hinges upon her.
Yes. So we could have some issues with your half sister.
Oh, not surprising, I'm sure.
But again, Melda, it is your choice.
She thinks about it just for a moment. You can see the excitement in Morzavi's face, and she just looks back at you, Kelex, and then looks at the rest of you and says, "I think I'm ready. I think this is fated. I think I need to do this. And whatever happens," she looks back at you, Kelex, and says, "Whatever happens, I am trusting that you can get me out of it."
I will be there at your side.
I got a teleport spell. Yeah. We're out of there, kids. And so Morsivy says, so you need transportation. That I can provide you. As a matter of fact, I'm to return to Enstad this evening. If you would like to.
We most grateful. However, can you take us to her grandmother versus?
Oh, yes. You instead of my tower, I can get you anywhere within the castle walls, and that also includes the life tree. So if you want to be put down in the life tree grove, I can place you right there on the dock.
And if possible, could we? I know no one summons a queen, but possibly could we meet Queen Yolanda before the court, before we openly go in, so that she may address this with Shira and yourself there.
He says that might be a very tall order. I can talk with Shira to see if that's something that she can.
We can secret this to her without Sintaisha, who I think has plans. She's had the time. It's open that we were sent to bring Melda in, but at that same moment, I don't trust her.
And not that it'll give Melda and her mother some time before we bring them in front of it's all before the court.
Yeah, rather than jumping out in front of the throne and saying, "Hi, how are ya? How you been?"
He says, "I'll see what we can do."
Everything goes sideways.
And fireball followed by portal.
Exactly.
And if you're not making one, I might be dropping an orb.
This is and Mike would know exactly. This is almost like a Helldivers 2 escape part. You know, it's like the drop ship arrives, everybody runs in, and then somebody throws a stratagem down. It's exactly what this is. What it sounds like. Okay, so cool.
I was thinking all those shriekers that show up at the.
Oh God!
I don't know if you did.
Like the other night. That was bad. Okay, so to get back into the game. Morzaivi says, yes, I can. I would be thrilled to have you travel. And he motions over to the side there. He has his portal circle set, and it looks as though things are pretty much all he would pretty much have to do is just when he's ready, do the teleportation. Of course, when he does finally leave, you get kind of like another hour back. So because the distance, so it will still be light in Celene when you arrive, even though it'll be pretty close to like a twilight sort of look. Here, at least you'll arrive with some daylight, which is good. Okay. So, Forest Mars looks at you and says, so you need more help than just this, obviously, or I would not be sitting here. So how can I help you? I mean, is there something specific that you need? Or are you looking for audience? What is it that you require? Firepower.
Oh yeah. Well,
do you know what kind of spellcasters Cat are? Are they necromancers essentially?
I'm sorry.
What?
What kind of magic does Cat usually focus on?
Well, I mean, they have, just general across the board. Like I said before, necromancers are rare.
So even
you're not even going to find them there because the Ket is a theocracy. Their god is called Akbar. So again, that would also be frowned upon. Necromancy, it takes a special person to grasp that. And obviously, like I said, you only know one, and she's kind of strange, but at least she's helpful.
At this point,
It's
any
like
aid you
even-
could provide, even something for defenses for the towns, or even Pellic itself could, use some help that way. All right, go on, Timble.
Is it possible that we could find someone who could transport us close to
The dragon?
God, what is her name?
Asveradox, but we need to go to Mount
Erebus Drax.
Aaron.
Yeah, we're thinking that, that, good Lord. Yeah, for us, the need is great. Time is against us. We're looking at porting into and near the Mount Perrin, then being able to get back so that we could
Prepare for cat.
Thistle. But first, I think Celene, but we could perhaps have an introduction to Estrella, so that we might learn something of dragonkind to speak and see what might be going on.
They both kind of give you a look.
I know it's long and hard. That
yeah. To Perrinland, it would be very, very. It would be almost quite impossible at this point in time. The Grand Wizard of let's see, who was in. Where's my map? Cool. Where's my capital? Oh, okay. So Schwarzenbrunn. That was let's see.
Quite a ways.
Yeah, that's actually pretty far. But yeah, the actual High Wizard of that court had recently been replaced. He had died of old age, and unfortunately, he has been replaced by one of his apprentices, who at this point in time is using more of an archaic transportation. It is still better than walking or taking a boat or horseback, but he is a griffin rider at this point in time until he has mastered the art of portal, which unfortunately he did not get a chance to learn from his master, but he is a known griffin rider. Unfortunately, griffin riders are kind of hard to come by, but interesting enough, and Morzavi, he looks over at Morzavi, and Morzavi says, yes, it is interesting that you should mention something of that, because at this point in time, Celene has started, over the last 5 years, we have actually started a breeding program for griffins. And we actually have some that we are using as sort of more transportation for our outward scouts to penetrate realms that we suspect may be hostile to Celene. So we might actually be able to loan you these creatures to get you to Perrinland. Of course, you'll have to. How long
of a journey would that take?
Well, let's see.
How big are the saddlebags?
He just chuckles at that. He says, well, you got to think. Let's see. It would take you probably, if you are on horseback and crossing the mountains, going through the lands there into the heartlands, it would take you 2 weeks to get to the mountain itself. But
horseback.
on horseback. If you are flying there as a griffin rider, it will take you a day.
That would be
a grand
generous.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The griffins are quite fast, and they can cover a lot of territory very, very quickly.
Are they easy to ride? Any training needing?
He says there is definitely training that you will need, but you could definitely get that there in Instad. Depending on how the outcome is with the princess, you may be able to, and I could talk with the queen about this as well, because of your purpose. If everything goes well, then I am almost sure that she would be more than willing to give you the use of these majestic animals.
A lot of
One step at a time.
So
Master Kiffi, how do you feel about flight?
I'm not a fan, but okay.
I bet he likes it better than falling.
Touche.
Or be on a ship in full plate.
Yeah. See, where most of you have actually gotten quite used to teleportation travel, most of you have never been on the back of a flying mount, so it's kind of different. Of course, like for those who have ever had fly cast on them, it is different because you, instead of being under your own power, you are now riding on the back of a creature that has taken flight. So it does require a little bit of training, not too unlike a horse. So if you have a horse and have actually ridden it instead of it being attached to a cart, it will. But instead of being on a 2-dimensional plane, you now have like up, down, left, and right. It's a totally different world. As my wife likes to tell me, because she was a single engine pilot for like Cessnas, and like she says it's a different world up there. So. Okay. And so Mars says, so that right there answers your question about transportation. What I can do for the Bissell cause is that I can talk to my liege and see if there's anything that the city of Greyhawk can do. And I will be happy to do that for you. And I can send a reply by message. He looks to you, Kelex, and says, and I believe that, of course, it'll just be a magical message to you to let you know exactly what I was able to acquire for Bissell's aid. And he gives you
have my gratitude. Thank you very much.
He says, well, I'm sorry, but I have to run. He looks over at Morsivy. Morsivy, once again, it's been fun hanging out with you and meeting your I guess they're friends, aren't they? And Morsivy just kind of, I don't have friends. And then just smiles a little bit. But then he looks over at you, Timble, and just kind of like, yeah. Okay. So, Forest Mars stands up and bows to each of you in turn, and he looks to Melda and says, well, Princess, good luck to you, and I hope that our paths cross again. I definitely hope that your meeting with your family is as fruitful as your friends believe it will be. Good luck to you. And he steps away.
Was that ominous?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Morsivy looks at you and says, well, this
I
is...
have more to say.
Oh, okay.
Great.
I would like to I'm going to ask something of my friends here. And we can decide what we're going to do. But I'll turn to everyone and say, should we perhaps share with Master Moore's Ivy the little problem we're having with a certain, what did he call himself? A halfling or Hinder. That was it. And share with him, and we may have really
that's a conversation for a much later date.
I think we have the church wrapped up into it. I think we need to have more, but we don't know the nature of these people, these wizards. We don't want to make it worse. But this individual, and I'll point at Moore's Ivy and say, I trust him. We do have to open ourselves to those who might have greater knowledge. What are your thoughts?
Actually, real quick, I think Russ was trying to say something. We can't hear you, Russ.
All right, how about now?
That's better.
Okay. I think that's a conversation best had at a later date. I don't distrust the gentleman. I think that we have too much on our plate right now to start bringing that in.
Well, I believe it may actually be in play already and part of our dragon mission. I think it will impact.
Who is this Toby you speak of?
I invite you to explain your reasoning.
We've in our movements, we have constantly had his hand pulsing with us across the distance. That was not the Kinder we knew. Now we're looking at the fact that he seems to be growing in power, a greater power base. And I do believe that he has some hand in Ket. I don't think they act alone. They started alone, but now they know more about us, I think. I really do. It's my suspicion anyway. I do not trust him. And I do not trust that he can't reach out and touch us in perilous moments and play with things. Plus, we have that dryad to deal with. Sorry.
Everybody has problems.
Oh, no. We've got more problems than just your average tinker.
Well, we don't know what Master Bilius has passed on to his fellow council wizards.
Yeah. A lot of things we don't know.
Again, I think that's a conversation best had at a different date.
Master Kiffi?
Yeah, I was gonna agree with Hal here. I don't think we want to lay too much on these guys all at once.
Grenna?
Let's finish one task before we try to make it more complicated. Because we still have the Rose Fort to deal with. And the dragon. And this. And
I know, there's a lot on our table. Well, your great lordship, what do you say?
I'm kind of holding off at this point.
Let's get to Celene, resolve this, and then we'll worry about, what was his name again? The Kinders?
Toby.
Oh, yes, Toby.
Oh, say it out
I
loud.
almost forgot him.
How much more trouble can I get in? I mean, come on.
Just say, as you say his name 3 times.
What is he, Beetlejuice?
You say it while you're masturbating.
I want my $2.
Yeah, If you're standing in a bathroom looking in the mirror and turn off the light and just say wild seed 3 times. And turn around, yeah.
Well, just saying Timble 3 times works for me.
Is that a gnome thing? Gnomes are summoned if their names get called 3 times. That would actually be a really neat. Okay, that would be an
interesting racial trait.
That would be weird.
Now,
it's like
how many times did you summoned while you were in the bathtub?
Yeah. Could you see you're like right in the middle of combat, you're about ready to take your turn, and like Grenna's parents like call her name out 3 times and she like just pops out of existence and back to Rabakel. Be like, Mom, what the hell? You just appear in the living room with your bow. You know, it's like already pulled back. You're like, damn it.
I'm ever the optimist, so I know that my name being called out will lead to a splash into a beautiful woman's bath. Yes.
Oh, is that what it was?
Always.
Okay.
Can we get the swing now?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
Are we going to check with the Hierophant first?
Yes, we probably should, since we had asked him to look into us first before we leave.
We need to ask Boar's Ivy if we have time.
He walks over to a very ornate sundial and looks upon it and says, I was planning on trying to be out of here within the next 30 minutes. So if you can make it quick.
Can we just send a message to the Hierophant? He can send us a sending message.
Yep. You can do that.
On what's to discuss. Just tell him that our departure was imminent. Please send us a sending message once you have the info.
Okay, and you receive a message back. Who was the one who's sending the message? Was it Yarn?
Oh, I was just. Oh, I don't know. I don't think any of us have the sending message.
Oh, none of you have sending? Oh, well then that would be kind of difficult.
Someone send write a message and send it.
Oh, okay. You could like send it by bird or something like that. I mean, there's plenty to do that. Okay.
A bird. Speaking of bird, has the owl returned from my uncle?
The owl has returned from Vitrum, yes. And with it, he has agreed to your secondary proposal. You all had discussed that you were going to, you needed.
I have nothing.
Yeah.
Names or yeah.
Yeah. You needed more specifics when it came to who the targets were. And so he definitely agreed. And he did also drop the price. So it makes it a little bit easier. But yeah. So that would be instead of the 5,000 per head, he cut that in half. And he said that he would agree to making sure that they were quality targets. And when he means by quality, you're thinking more like royalty. Yeah. Nice. He understands that you're not looking for lieutenants and captains and majors. You're looking for people who actually have titles.
Well, we know one major that has a title, so we may just need to be careful.
That was also.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. Okay. So, right. Yeah. So the time passes as you were in preparation, and Moore's Ivy says, "Well, I believe it is time for us to depart." And he says, he looks over at Melda and said, "Your Majesty, if you would please." And you all make your way over to the portal circle.
Melda's hand.
So yeah, I mean, she grasps onto it and just looks at you. She looks a little apprehensive. She doesn't know what to expect when she gets to the other side of this. And so with a few magic words and a wave of his hands, the portal lights up with that blue and purplish swirling power, and you kind of feel your stomach fall really quickly as you are teleported to the Life Tree Grove outside, inside of the castle walls. Immediately as you appear, you see that there are at least 3 other druids here tending the tree, one of them being Shira. And she immediately turns at the sight of the bluish, purplish light. And you once again, Melda has placed her, before she left, she placed her hood back up, not knowing what to expect and not wanting to cause any undue stress to anyone or herself. And so now Mor's Ivy and you and Melda and Shirley Templar and everybody who was with you is now standing on the dock. And you see Shira, just her face lights up at your appearance, and she says, "Welcome, my friends, and welcome back. Do you have her? Is she with you?" And just as she finishes the sentence, you see Melda step out from behind you, Kelex. She does not lower her hood, and so you see Shira just. Shira knows. She just can feel it. And she walks up and, grasping the hood, just very, very gently pulls the hood back from Melda's head. And as soon as she does, she takes a step back and is like, "You look just like your mother. How is this possible? How wonderful it is to finally see you home. You don't know how much I wanted to tell you that night in that little village, but it seemed like there was so much chaos that is swirling around you. And even at that point in time, I didn't know if you were real or not, but I know now." And you see Melda you turn and you can actually see like a tear rolling down her face. And she says, and Melda says, "So you actually are my grandmother." And Shira just nods her head as a tear also rolls from across her cheek. And Melda just quickly walks over and they embrace. And of course, everything is silent. The wind in the trees falls quiet, and they embrace for a time, and then they pull apart. And Shira says, "Well, if you are ready, I believe it is time that you actually meet your mother."
And during that piece, I could see that Tomas was about to raise his lute. I just put my hand and push it back.
Take a dexterity check.
As he puts on that rendition of Smoke on the Water.
That's okay. I have a perfect spell for that.
Silent?
Fireball?
Fireball!
Fireball works. Oh my gosh. That is too funny.
That or gentle repose, one of the two.
Gentle repose. Ow. So all the while you sort of see that Tomas's squire as just kind of just taking everything in. Being that Shirley has never really been anywhere until like recently. I mean, she was kind of a farmer's daughter for the most part.
Trial by fire.
Yeah. And so you got to think this is a 14-year-old girl who has, in a span of the last 3 days, has been taken from an orphanage, teleported to a necromancer's tower, visited the city of Greyhawk, and is now in the capital city of Celene.
As we're getting ready to learn how to ride griffins.
Right. And that right there is crazy and exciting to, I believe, everyone. So, yeah, she's kind of overwhelmed by everything. But she keeps very close to you, Tomas. So Shira is kind of leading your procession over towards the boats that are on the dock there.
Shira, Queen Mother, hi Druid. I have one question. Do we just want to walk into the hall and say here we are, or is there some way that we might be able to speak with Queen Yolanda alone?
I can go ahead and prepare the Queen. I'll also try to seek out Val to see if he will go with me.
Oh, please! That's great.
I'm going to. I'm going to seek him out first. If you all would stay here, I'd leave you in the capable hands of my sisters, which she refers to the other her druid group, and says they will. I will signal to them when it is time for you to approach.
Please be careful around Sintaisha.
Oh, of course. Of course. I completely understand that. So you want to just have a meeting with Yolanda herself. Understandable. Okay. So she enters one of the boats and heads back over, and actually she wouldn't even have to do that. She would just cast walk on water and just walk across, not bothering with the boat.
She has one of those little skips there where she clicks her heels as she goes.
And she just quickly makes her way across. Not even, just barely touching the surface. And so as you all are waiting, you see that the druidesses that are there are busying themselves trying to get ready to also leave for the day. So they're cleaning up their pruning implements, gathering the vials of the life tree, the sap from it to be to be purified and to be turned into the healing potions that are like the most the most potent of healing potions.
Guys, I've got a bad feeling.
Again?
Still.
I told you to go to the bathroom before you could teleport.
It's called gas.
We should be vigilant right now.
I just
What
typed
makes you
it
do that, Yarn?
Yep. We should be vigilant.
All right. Kind of keep an eye, I guess, on the area, just see if we notice anything strange.
Okay.
I marked my character sheet as vigilant.
Got to be more vigilant, yeah. Okay, so you are
my boomstick.
I'm going to be watching that area where we spotted her once before as we left the tree.
Okay. Yeah, where she was kind of looking out of one of the towers. Yeah, down onto the courtyard.
See if she falls into a habit.
Okay. Very, very interesting. Okay.
Wait, can we see that from the island?
You can see. I mean, you can see the castle, the manor house itself from the island. But at this point in time, you don't see anyone staring out windows or anything of that nature. Of course, you do see guards that are posted. Some are on the roof. Some are in different other locations on the grounds. Everybody give me a perception check.
And I'm going to do also one thing while I'm going to cast Divine Sense.
Wow, these are stellar rolls. So Timble on the oh, okay, Grenna, very, very good. Okay, so both Grenna and Timble, with your keen gnomish ears, you pick up a very, very peculiar sound carried on the wind, and that is of some sort of creature that is screeching into the night, or into the twilight as it approaches. Not the sound of a dragon, but that of griffins calling out to each other.
Griffins are carnivorous.
I'll turn to the sisters and say, "Did you hear that?"
One of them turns to you and says, "Yes, my lord, I did."
What does that portend?
Oh, they're just the griffins.
Are you sure?
I'm quite sure.
Normal. Wow.
Oh no. There are some that are calling to mates. We do have a very robust program here for such animals. She just smiles and says, "Do not worry yourself, your lordship. They are quite under control. You have no fear of them. The handlers are very, very knowledgeable in the."
I don't necessarily fear it. I fear what might be startling them, because to me, my untrained ear, it does seem.
Yes, it could sound frightening,
given what we're about.
Of course, fear not. They're fine. And she starts to load things onto the small skiff there, and
I'll help.
In a few more moments, you see Val approaching, and he is on the other side on the other dock, and he says, "Well, you may as well come on. Mother is waiting, and grandmother has her undivided attention."
All right.
And he
Where's your sister?
Are we ready?
Where's your sister?
Storm the castle.
He says, "That I am unsure of. I just know that she is not in the throne room."
Okay. Let's go, guys.
Cool. So you get on the little boat and you make your way over. Val greets you warmly, again with handshakes, and then he looks upon Melda and he is like, "Oh my, yes, you are definitely a daughter of my mother." And you just see him chuckle a little bit, and she says, and who are you? And he says, well, it seems that I am your half-brother. Welcome to Instad. Let's see how this goes. And he takes her hand and walks with her, helps her out of the ship and out of the boat. And you all start making your way into the castle. All the while keeping an eye on the windows above in the towers. Also, specifically the one that you saw Syntycia staring at you from before. So, interesting.
How close?
See anything
How
along the way?
close do we come to? How close do we come to that window?
Actually, you'll pass under it. It is about 30 feet off of the ground.
Okay. When I get within 60 feet of that window,
Mm-hmm.
I cast darkness on it.
Okay. All right. So you do so, and a sphere of darkness envelops the window. Val just kind of turns and looks and says, "Oh, that's interesting. Well, wasn't expecting to see that."
It happens occasionally.
Understandable, I suppose. He says, it's so good to see you all here once again. And he looks to his sister and said, and it is so wonderful to meet you finally. Your grandmother has talked so much about you. And yeah. So you all enter, and as you do, you see that the guards are assembled in the hallway right before the throne room doors. And they give way as Val walks in. As he approaches the doors, the guards there come to attention and immediately open the doors. Once again, you all step into the throne room in the castle Instad. You walk in, and the scene is a little bit different than what you're usually. You've been here during the day, so it is a little bit more interesting at night. There is a lot more like fairy lights and things of that nature illuminating the room. The room has been completely cleared. The only person that you see standing at the throne is Shira, and sitting on the throne itself is Yolanda. As you all approach to the customary stopping place, she looks at you all questioningly, and immediately her eyes settle upon the face of Melda, and she immediately shoots up from the chair. Moore's Ivy now walks in from the side, and Yolanda looks over at you, Kelex, and says, "You have done well, and I thank you for bringing the young woman before me." And then she looks over at Moore's Ivy and says, "Moore's Ivy, have you tested her?" And he says, "Your Majesty, I have. And there is no subterfuge that is being used to cloak her true identity. No magics. I feel that she is truly who she may or may not claim to be. She seems quite apprehensive." And that is when Shira breaks in and says, "Of course, she is who she truly is." Make a perception check, all of you.
With a bad feeling about this.
One good roll will be all I ask.
Okay, wow, you guys are murdering this. You guys are so like on the edge. It's like, yeah, you guys are standing around like.
They just waited for me to get here, so they would start rolling good.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Wow. So as you're yeah, I mean, even a 13 is good enough to recognize that one of the tapestries behind the altar, off to the side, you see that there is a slight amount of motion behind it, like that there may be somebody hiding behind it.
With the nat 20, would I be able to tell like shape, size?
I'm sorry, what was it?
With a nat 20, would I be able to tell shape, size, anything else?
Yeah, with natural 20s, you would be able to determine that this is a smallish creature, not a full-grown adult.
Asenath.
Yeah. Maybe, sister.
Is that you behind the curtain, princess?
You immediately see everyone else kind of whip around. Everyone else that is on the near the throne, as you see the tapestry part just sort of move to the side, and you see a very young elvish female face peering out from behind it, and you hear Yolanda says, "Young lady, you were sent to your quarters. Why are you still here?" And the rest of you will see as Asenath steps out from behind the tapestry, and she says, "I'm sorry, Mother, but I just couldn't. I just couldn't stay away. Please don't send me away." And you can see that she is all the while is looking past Yolanda to Melda, and is just, she's mesmerized. And you just see Yolanda once again return to you all, and she walks down the stairs towards you, and she walks up to Melda and takes one of her hands and places it on her face, and just like says, "They lied to me. They said that you were dead. But here you are in front of me today. My first daughter. Can you ever forgive me?" Of course, Melda is just the first thing is that she just looks so much like, Melda looks just so much like this woman that it's like, there could be no question. And even Melda understands. You see Shira with this just wide grin on her face, also matched by Master Moore's ivies, as Asenath is standing there, her hand on the throne, on the armchair of the throne, just absolutely, it's like she's shaking with excitement. And Yolanda just reaches over and just pulls Melda very close to her. And that's when the door to the chamber opens, and in walks Sintaisha. Immediately.
I'm placing myself between them.
Immediately taking everything in. And you just see her whole entire face just change. Just absolute malice just crosses her face. And she shouts out, "Mother, how dare you? How dare you let this imposter into your throne?" And she immediately turns and runs back out of the throne room.
Get her, get her, get her.
Should I test my bolas?
As she starts to run out, I'm just going to cast Divine Sense. See if I can get anything off of her.
Okay. Divine Sense, as in like being able to determine if she is. If
so here's.
Give us.
So the presence of a strong evil registers on your senses like a noxious odor. And powerful good rings like heavenly music in your ears.
Okay.
As an action, you can open your awareness to detect such forces. Until the end of your next turn, you know the location of any celestial fiend undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total cover. You know the type of any being whose presence you sense but not identify. Like I can tell it's a vampire, I just don't know who.
Right.
Within the same radius, you can detect presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated, as with the Hallow spell. So maybe if she has something on her she's carrying, might get detected too.
Okay. So with that in mind, it is yes, Yarn.
I'm also casting.
What are you casting?
Oh my god.
Not Fireball. Message.
Okay.
Stop. You could end this now. Stop. You could end this now.
Okay. So, yeah, by the time that you send it, but you get no response.
Expecting a response.
Yeah. So yeah, the end result is that she definitely flees the room, and as she flees, you see a brilliant flash of purplish light, and once you do, you realize that she has blinked out of. You're not too sure where she blinked to, but she did use a blink spell, and she is gone. Yes.
Is that reported by Divine Sense? Did he detect anything?
Yeah. Okay, so your Divine Sense, what you end up, it's like a wave of like the second day after a Taco Bell beef bean burrito. It's pretty noxious. So yeah, you realize that there is some definite. Some evil, an evil presence, which is, which Syntaisha emanates. Yes, Timble.
I did try to roll my bola, the belly of zapper ones, as you were talking about the spells.
Right.
So the bellius one is I get a plus. If I just use a dagger,
still comes up as a dagger.
Yeah, it just comes up as a dagger.
Why is it doing that to me?
I'm not
you got to click on the to hit in the button that comes up. Not on your token in D&D Beyond.
Yeah, it says action attack. What have they done with this? Because I've to do that before and it worked fine. Try a dagger.
So are you clicking on like the dice that is next to it, the little die? Yeah. Ooh, that's weird.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's the
All right, let's do it the another way. Where is the dice setting up here? Had to do that before.
I know we're thinking that she's evil, but I mean, they're not going to understand what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the last thing we want to do is attack a family member.
Yeah.
Tomas looks at Shirley and says, "Hold on your butt. Here it goes."
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she is actually. You can see that she has her hand on the hilt of her sword that you had given her, and you just steady her and be like, "Hold tight. Don't do anything that might trigger an incident." Okay.
That would have been an attack of 22.
Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, with the amount of speed, you would have done disadvantage because of just the amount of, it did not take any time whatsoever. So yeah, it would, yeah, I would say it probably would not. It definitely wouldn't work. So, alrighty. So that right there, being that you did attempt to do something, immediately draws the attention of the queen and everyone. And you hear just a gasp come from Shira. And even the queen pulls back and says, what have you done? How? She now calls for the guards. And immediately 12 guards file into the room, swords drawn.
I'm putting my hands up, and they say, those were bolas. It was simply to stop her from fleeing.
Said, he said, guards, take them away. Leave this one here, as she points to Melda.
Don't do anything. So Kelex is like, he's like, what the hell? And he's like, he wants to do something, but he knows that doing something is not going to make anything better.
Correct.
So
gonna
go somewhat peacefully, I guess.
Yeah. So you guys are actually led out of the throne room.
That could have gone better.
And as Shirley looks over to you, Tomas, and says, "Was this a part of the plan?"
Always.
Elvish, I will say, I simply reacted. It should not reflect upon my fellows. This is something I did, my impulse.
Yeah. So as you were kind of shouting this, as you're being led out, and you hear, as you're led out through the doors there and led away from the court, you see the doors slammed behind you, and you are taken into a more subterranean area of the castle. But you can see, though, that this is not like your standard sort of. It's definitely not as bad as where you were when you were imprisoned in Kodal Keep. But each of you have a cell that is adjoining to each other, and you are forced inside of them, without so much as being given any other explanation or anything. And so now you all are now prisoners in Castle Lindstad. This was beautiful.
I really feel like we're like Bilbo and the dwarves and freaking.
Oh, and Thranduil. Yeah,
the Elven. Yeah.
So.
Takes out his,
Timber, what were you thinking?
Nobody.
I wasn't thinking. I didn't want her to get away.
Yeah, how'd that work for you? Everybody busts on my shit. I've been good lately.
What was your title again?
I think it's the head. It keeps you in line.
Is there a guard?
I was there to
have alignment changes.
There are several.
Hell, shut the hell up.
So,
what did they do with Bubbles?
Stand by.
Bubbles was actually Bubbles is with you, and as he kind of telepathically connects with you, he says, "Well, that could have went better." Yeah, I wasn't expecting to be thrown into a cage tonight, but hey, here we are.
We're together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He says, but I do have something I need to impart to you, Mistress Grenna, is that the reason that his Master Timble's attempt failed was not because of his inability to make it occur. It seems that your friend, the Dryad, had something to do with it.
Okay. Brian.
I thought I always got to do a roll for that. High or
Not
low.
this time.
Okay, go ahead, Yarn.
I don't like being
In a cell.
cells.
Yeah, it's no fun.
Did they take his spell book?
As far as we know,
Actually, you all have been stripped of all of your items, so you're kind of sitting in a cell.
How well did they search us?
I don't need my spell book to cast spells.
What about
Just
all
a
your
reminder.
Misty step. And I'm outside the cell.
30 minutes, Brian.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a good idea. We've already caused enough trouble. Let's see if we can at least get Val or Shira to hear us out.
No, I'm just going to go out there and talk with the guards.
Hey, Pav. We caused enough trouble? I was innocent. I had my home of alignment changing on.
Alignment change. Impressive.
Better hope it's not cursed where it's when it's stuck on your head all the time.
Okay.
Pride Month. It's the helm of never mind.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna get the attention of one of the guards. I don't know if we're all in the same cell or not, but
No, you're in the same room, but you're all in separate cells. The only one that there's two people in a cell. Well, it's one person and a warg is, of course, Grenna with her dog. So
I'm gonna ask one of the guards if we can speak with either Lord Commander Val. I guess I don't know if that's his title or not, or the Archdruid Shira.
He just looks at you very stone-faced and he says, I'm sure that whatever appropriate measures who you will be defended by will be in contact with you soon.
Are we the only ones that saw her come into the room? Did nobody else in their... Melda didn't see him. Val didn't see her?
Melda saw him. The queen heard her come in and shout. Shira, Moore's Ivy, Asenath. Oh, no, everybody knew that she walked in, saw what happened and screamed and then blinked out.
I'm not playing this game.
Yeah, you're already playing D&D. It's a game.
Yeah. Welcome.
All right, I guess we just have to sit. I know Kelex is just going to sit and wait. I guess he's going to.
Yeah, at least it's not like pea-stained straw like you had up in Kodal Keep.
I'm not being the shit beat out of me, so it's not so bad.
Yeah, it's not as bad. Yeah, you're not, like you said, hanging from a wall or laying, after you.
I will say this: impulsiveness got us in this position.
You're in.
Don't add to it.
Just like a Danish prison. I'm gonna chill out.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Danish prison.
Yep, Kelex is going to, basically pray and meditate and do what paladins do while they wait.
Okay.
See if I can.
Very cool.
We'll check.
You know what I like about the Danish prisons? It's the little things. They put mayonnaise on gruel.
Oh, it's a little different.
You know what they call it?
I'm going to check if they took everything.
So I would like everybody to make a wisdom save. Maybe not a wisdom save. Oh, no. Sorry, Constitution. Yeah, do a Constitution instead of a wisdom. Yeah.
Straight up Constitution. Okay.
Oh, man. Thank goodness it wasn't a wisdom, right, Timble? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So actually, you guys are doing relatively okay. Let me see.
Yeah.
Let's see. Grenna got a 7. Kiffi got a 6. Kelex got a 6. Timble got a 9. And Tomas got a 10.
Sterling
Okay.
got a 10.
So anybody who got a 10 or who got below a 10, if you're a 10, then that's just hang tight. Everybody below that, I mean, it's been quite a tiring day. Things have gone a little bit more awry than you were thinking. And so you start to kind of snooze off a little bit. During that period, Kelex, you have a very, very interesting dream.
Dream sequence.
Yeah. Dream sequence. So you see something very, very interesting. You see the life tree, and you see the druids standing around it, and you see one a very, very interesting. It looks to be an apple. An actual piece of fruit that is growing from the tree, and as you, it's very high up, and you see that there are people reaching for it and grasping, but they just cannot reach. But just as it looks as though everyone is giving up hope, you just see a very large dragon claw just snatch it from the tree. And as you see that, you're shaken awake. You're just like, whoa, okay. It was very lucid. It was very real. It was so real that you thought that you could actually smell the brimstone that was coming from this beast. And you're not really too sure what to make of it. It's just very, very strange.
I recognize the color of the claw that came out. Or is it just a dream and everything just seems kind of...
Yeah, colors are kind of muted, so you're not really too sure. All you saw was really... But the thing that really pierced was the piece of fruit was circular in shape, and it was translucent. It was very strange. It didn't make sense. You've never seen a piece of fruit like that. And you didn't realize that the tree would produce fruit. You don't think it actually does. So, interesting.
Cool.
Okay. So, you all are actually in the cell until the next morning when the guards file in once again, and you have you are released from your cells, and you are once again brought back up into the throne room. People seem a little bit they're not as friendly as they once were. People will kind of look at you a little bit more on guard, so to speak. The doors are open for you, and once again, you stand inside the sunlit room of the throne room itself.
I dropped to a knee and once again try to explain. This was my action.
You just hear a shh.
Them.
Says the queen stands and looks down at you all and says, "Your activities yesterday, while they were extremely noble, and after talking with my mother and Master Morzivy, I owe you an apology for casting you into the cells. And Princess Melda has vouched for you and your goodness and your intent," as she looks at you, Timble.
I look ashamed.
She says, "I understand that you felt that we may have been in danger, and I commend you for that attempt. I would not try that again." At this point in time, Val and Asenath walk in and stand there next to next to Shira. Morsivy is kind of off to the side, and you see Melda is standing next to Shira and Asenath. Melda is wearing this green gossamer gown. I mean, it's absolutely stunning, and she just smiles at you all as you as you rise after the Queen has pardoned you. And she says, the Queen continues and says, so you are free. But before I release you, I need to thank you. And the way that I can thank you is by what you requested of me. And that you and Bissell need Celene's help. And being that you have returned my daughter to me, you shall get that help. And I have sent word to my cousin Zan. And I have been assured that her forces will also join mine to throw off the yoke that has been placed upon your necks and the people of Bissell.
I bow to her and said, we are so grateful for your help. Thank you.
She's like, so Lord Protector Kelex, what is your next move?
Good question. There has been talk of seeing if we can do something about the dragon that had attacked Bissell. We believe it's being cursed, and we think if we help it, that'll even give us more leverage against Ket.
That is a noble undertaking. You know enough about this dragon that you feel that you would be able to sway her from her current course?
We believe the Kets have possibly one or possibly two of her eggs, and that's what they're using to coerce her.
She says, I can understand that, as she looks over at Melda. Says, yes. This is so you need help. And I think yes. I after talking with Melda and talking with Morsivy, they have mentioned that you need transportation, and I believe I have the transportation that you seek. Would you be willing to learn to ride the griffins?
I kind of look at everybody. I can see, obviously, you see the smiles on their face. I think.
I'm not smiling. I am not smiling. I'm looking a little. You want me to fly in the sky?
No worries, Timble. We got a bag to put you in.
Did he lose his bolos, or did he get him back?
No, all of your items have been returned to you.
I was going to address that also.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. As soon as she had pardoned you, the guards had let you know that there was a chest that had all of your items in it. They did not. That's
a big chest.
It is. It's actually magical.
So you put a bag of holding.
It's Time Lord technology, dude. Don't question it.
Timble, we've got a bag that'll hold you, but you'll need a bath afterwards.
No, you don't. That's my bag.
So, like the Queen, I said, that assistance would be very much valuable and well appreciated.
She says, so you are, if you have time this morning, you can meet the trainers on the roof, and they will get you acquainted with the griffins if you are ready. Other than that, I feel that is probably the most that I could do for you right now. She looks to Val and says, Val, you need to muster the troops and get ready to march. He immediately, with a large smile on his face, looks over to her and says, "Yes, my queen." And he looks to you, Kelex, and gives a nod and walks from the room. You see Asenath, Queen Yolanda walks back up and sits on the throne, and she says, "So there it is."
Question.
Yes.
Another question. We have promised to protect Melda in various forms and ways. Where will she be while we are with the Griffins?
Princess Melda, do you feel safe?
She looks to her mother and her grandmother, and she says, "Yes, I believe I am safe here." And at that, Asenath just reaches over and holds her hand, and you can see that there is actually some sort of a connection. You can see Melda seems happy. And again,
Kelex, your call. Kelex, your call.
Okay, well, I was going to kind of wait until after our little audience with the queen, but are we done with the queen? Are we about to head out?
Yep. Yeah, right, you guys are actually, you could actually leave the throne room.
Okay, so I'm going to go over to Melda, take her by the hands and say, "Are you going to be sure you're going to be safe here?"
She says, "I believe so. Everyone seems to have my best interest at heart. But before you leave, though, we need to talk."
I had a feeling.
Yeah, she says, "Once you're done with the Griffins, come seek me out."
Okay.
Cool.
Definitely. I will. Was the grandmother in the area?
Yeah. Shira's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I would definitely come see you before we depart. But I do need to speak with your grandmother. I have something to speak to her about.
Oh, of course. And she smiles and
I kiss her hand.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it in front of court. I don't want
to, she just kind of blushes a little bit, and she's like, she gives you a smile. So the queen and of course Val had already left the room. You can hear horns blowing in the distance.
Brian?
Yes.
As they part, I was standing by and I'll walk up to her and go, "I have to know if you really do feel safe." My word was on keeping you safe.
She said,
"We're not in front of the fort now."
Yeah.
Are you?
She actually bends down to get, eye level with you. And she says, Lord Timble, I do feel safe. And I thank you for everything that you've done for me. You don't understand how important and what a great honor it has been to be in your presence. I feel that you are truly a man of your word, willing to go above and beyond, as we saw last night. It said, but no, I do feel safe. And
Chancellor for life.
And for someone, and she says, unfortunately, though, I don't believe my sister has returned from whence or from wherever she went. She definitely seemed quite upset. I wished I could have talked to her, but I don't think she's in that state of mind to do so at this time.
Real quick, I got to drop, guys. Something just went down at work, so I'm going to drop off real quick. So,
all right, bud. Hey, yeah, we're gonna be closing up shop here pretty quick.
Yeah, I got like 10 alerts, like something went offline.
Oh no!
You know how that goes.
All right, have a good night.
No, I don't. Which is why I transitioned to information security.
You don't have to deal with that. Okay.
I will slip her. I will slip her the stone dagger.
Okay.
And tell her this was taken from your dark brothers. Be careful. It is a poison blade for your protection.
Yeah, she looks at it and says, "Well, thank you, Lord Timble. I will keep this on me at all times."
One never knows when they need a blade.
True.
That's why I carry so many.
Yeah, she stands.
Step off, little man.
Hey, she's my friend. You can do whatever you want with her, but I saw her in a nightie once, so we're friend.
That's right. You had seen her in a nightie once.
I will then go looking for Master Moore's Ivy.
Okay, he's there. He's talking with. Actually, he was talking with Melda or he's talking with. Actually, talking with Asenath about what she has been. She's actually been training. Her archery skills have increased quite quickly. Yeah. So you overhear this as well, Grenna, that that Asenath has obviously has become quite skilled in archery, which kind of piques your interest a little bit. But yes, you go over and you get Master Moore's Ivy's attention.
I'll just say, when you have a moment, can I speak with you, sir?
He says, "Of course, we can step aside if you would like to have some privacy." And so, he escorts you over to a side room, kind of almost like an alcove off to the side. And he says, "Yes, Lord Timble, how can I be of help to you?"
I simply was going to inquire, how goes the search for, oh shit, I can never remember her name.
Sentisha,
yeah.
He says,
did anyone see her leave?
Unfortunately, no. The last time anybody saw her is when she sort of blinked out of existence as you had made your made your strike. Very unfortunate. But I did, as you had asked, I did have my gem at the ready. Kind of feeling that she would make an appearance. And there is something definitely not right with the princess. Yes.
I had that feeling from, the very beginning, the moment I saw her. And just let me add, if there's anything that I can do to help with searching for her. I know that I've created a hoo-ha.
He says, yes. Actually, yes, you can. He says the lock to her room has been magicked with a magic that even I am not familiar with, some sort of a darkness. If there is some way that you can mechanically or maybe magically make your yarn, you're not there. You're off to the side.
That's why I'm not saying anything.
But I think let me put our team together so that we all can kind of see. I mean, we come from various places. We all have different backgrounds. So who knows?
Yeah, if there's a way that you can gain access to her room, there may be some clues there that will give us a little bit more idea of what we're dealing with.
Has anyone tried the windows?
No, unfortunately, no one has tried the windows yet. But I did fly up there to take a look, and it seems that the panes have been warded. And this is magic that I did not realize that she possessed. She is much more powerful than I had even thought.
We have had a run-in with the drow in the south. Could it possibly be their kind of magic?
No, there was something very strange. When I looked at her through the gem, her face was a blur, like there was something masking, something hidden deeper. She definitely did not look like the Syntycia that everyone knows. And for those people who kind of got an idea of what Syntycia looks like, she has lavender colored eyes, and she has platinum, like silver, like platinum blonde hair. She's very striking. She is absolutely what you would call otherworldly beautiful. It's kind of hard to look at her. She's definitely different than all the others, of her family. And you're kind of thinking that it might be from her father's side of the family, that there may be some sort of,
remind us what
some sort of touch.
Her father is.
That's Athelain. He was Yolanda's husband. He was the king, and he was slain in battle, and leaving her. Yes.
Brian, did you use the word otherworldly?
Yes.
Intentionally?
Yes. Yeah, she doesn't look right.
Gentlemen? Fun.
But you also kind of get this idea that if she was kind, she would probably be someone, and you kind of got that feeling when you talked with her friend, the one who works in the Broken Bow, that she was a wonderful person before she fell, before she was stricken by that coma that took those many days from her.
And she just
guys,
doesn't.
I'll talk about this in tactics later.
Okay, so unfortunately, guys, we got to close up shop tonight. But so folks watching the stream, thank you very much for joining.